asking, I mean, this is quite a big risk, I felt, for you in your career. And I was wondering how important do you think it is to keep sort of testing yourself and try roles that are so different to previous ones you've done?
It's what I like doing. If you're lucky enough to have a little bit of diversity in your career, you've got to grasp it. Because I think there's a lot of unlucky actors out there who just do the same thing all the time. It's not for want of trying, really. It's what they're dealt. And I'm lucky enough that I've been afforded the opportunity every now and again to kind of stretch my wings a little bit. And no kind of more extreme example than Bruce Robertson in the movie Filth. But risk, I don't know. If it's really bad, or if I'm terrible in it, then it will disappear and nobody will ever see it. And it will get a couple of bad reviews in the papers, and then it'll be tomorrow's chip paper, and I'll go and do X-Men 3. Do you know what I mean? It's it's not that much a risk, really, to be honest with you. And also, if it truly is a risk, it's a risk worth taking, because there's not a lot of brave material out there at the moment that isn't afraid of being potentially controversial. And Filth is definitely not afraid of being potentially controversial, and it is brave, and and it is extreme. And you don't get extremities in drama at the moment very often. You do get some, but especially not in English-speaking drama.
And talking about controversial, you've got to share the screen with your sister in this film in quite a strange scene for you. How was that to shoot?
Yeah, I have to kind of harass her, really. It felt, kind of weird. But it was quite funny. We laughed a lot. And that was the biggest challenge in that scene, was the pair of us just trying not to giggle, really. But I never really sort of imagined when we were wee boys and girls that we'd ever share the screen with each other, let alone that we'd both be actors. But she's a fantastic actress, amazing actress. So at the end of the day, that's what made it easy to get through, is that we could both put it aside, and hopefully we're both good enough actors to be able to just get on with the job.
And despite doing some quite, say, unethical things, Bruce Robertson is still, maybe it's just me, but I find him really quite endearing, and you do care for him still as an audience member. And I was wondering if that was always the aim for you, and if that was quite tough to achieve as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us set out to make a film with a character who did such terrible things that you could not empathise or get on board with him. I think you'd watch maybe 15, 20 minutes of that and then get bored. And have fun, but then get bored. What we have to do is entertain the audience. We have to keep them laughing. We have to keep them shocked. But we also have to keep them connected as well, because ultimately we're portraying a guy who is, a guilty pleasure, and he is funny, and it is like a kind of weird, kind of black fairy tale. Do you know what I mean? But it's ultimately about his deconstruction and about him falling apart. It's basically about one man's mental breakdown, really. He just happens to do it in a way that is entertaining, hopefully, and a bit disturbing at the same time.
And my final question is, I had the pleasure of speaking to Hugh Jackman last week, and
he's lovely, man.
He is lovely, and I asked him about Days of Future Past, and he's very, very excited and thinks it could be the biggest X-Men film yet. And I was wondering if that's a sentiment that you share.
It's definitely the biggest X-Men movie yet. 100%. It can't not be. It's got about 500 actors in it. Yeah, I think it's going to be epic. I think it will be quite epic. I haven't seen it yet, and you can never tell, because you can make a good movie and then they edit it and it's terrible, and vice versa a little bit. So we'll wait and see. But Brian knows what he's doing. He's a clever director. And we've got you can't get that kind of cast. You couldn't, if you wrote all those names down on a cast list, like Halle Berry and Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman and Nick Holt and Jennifer Lawrence and Michael Fassbender and all these, Peter Dinklage playing the baddie, and it's nuts, really. So we're dead lucky, and fingers crossed it's going to be as good in its actual construction as it is on paper.
Well, thank you so much for your time
today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.